Dante and Kalisha, Gutierrez and Isola. Today.
The play that was drawn up, I scratched it.
The scratch, sniff win for the Cavaliers. Also, rest in peace, basketball. Also, time for the Warriors to maybe come out and play. Truthiness for the Wizards. For the Capitals. And catching a foul ball on Mother's Day with a tiny human attached to your body.
Hey, and no love.
Let's go around the Bjorn.
Patrick Check.
Oh, man.
All right, where do you want to start? With the timeout that didn't have, but Blatt wanted to take, that didn't get him a T. The timeout they didn't have, but the refs gave them to review the clock. The play that was drawn up in that timeout that LeBron scratched, and J.R. Smith thought was a bad play. J.R. Smith! Or the shot. Adande, go ahead.
I think it comes down to the joys and pains of coaching LeBron James. The joys are he can make shots like that. He's the best player in the game. But the pain is the added scrutiny that comes with it, including the fact that he's going to reveal that you didn't even have him being on the court. You had him inbounding the ball on that last second play. And
was that poor form by LeBron after the game, in your opinion?
Well, you know what I think that was, though? I think that was him responding to what he felt was poor form for David Blatt talking about Kyrie Irving's injuries, which Kyrie clearly did not want to discuss. And I don't think he appreciated David Blatt bringing that up. And I also don't think LeBron appreciated the call
to inbound the ball. So you do think this is something that's under the surface?
I think it was a little passive-aggressive there for him to bring that up and talk about how he had
Kalisha, how about you?
My first thought was I wonder if there's ever been a coaching change made during the middle of a second-round playoff series. It was that kind of day for David Blatt, although technically the analytics crowd would say he is right to draw up a play with LeBron inbounding the ball. A man 9 for 29 is not a guy you want shooting in this game.
Okay,
except for the fact that he's LeBron
do you want
James.
Kyrie Irving shooting? Do you want Deladova shooting?
Except for the fact he is LeBron James, and he is going to make a big shot like that if he gets the opportunity. I don't think the whole timeout thing, I don't think the players should be able to go over there, but the fact that LeBron said they scratched the play he called up anyway, I don't see how this gave the Cavaliers a big advantage to go over there.
Israel, your takeaway from yesterday?
Well, my takeaway is that it's just a horrible look for David Blatt. I mean, not only somebody has to tell him how many timeouts are left, so maybe that person's partially responsible as well. But when the announcers know it before you even know it, that's a problem. The other part about this is, and I know, Doug Collins famously called the play for Dave Corzine, and Michael Jordan said, no, I'm taking this shot. That was the ELO shot. But that's a terrible call by David Blatt in that situation. You have to know who you're coaching. You also have to know with 1.5 seconds left who's probably going to get off a cleaner shot than LeBron James. LeBron James is the best option there, and he's going to take that shot.
So you think any criticism is fair of Blatt
in the play? I do, absolutely.
How about you, Frank?
I have a better one. The most famous overrule of a final play was Jimmy Chitwood telling Norm Dale, no, get me the ball, I'll make the shot, and he made the shot. Of course, though, that's Hollywood. In Hollywood, it's a little bit different. The problem is, here's David Blatt. The poor guy wins the biggest game of his life, a game 4 on the road. They need the win, and all everybody's talking about is the timeout.
Do you think this criticism is fair?
I think the timeouts he should know because that's a technical foul. But the idea, 2 years ago we were doing documentaries on how LeBron is not clutch. Now all of a sudden it's like, how can you not get the ball to LeBron at the last moment? So come on now.
You think the Bulls have beef there with no technical foul for the timeout? He called. I mean, he didn't get granted, but he called the timeout, Frank.
No, but Noah also destroyed LeBron on the original drive. So I don't want to see the game decided.
Adande, back in.
I just don't want to see you get rewarded with a timeout, basically, to draw up a play when you blew your last 2 timeouts because you couldn't get the ball inbounds. They should be forced to stay on the court.
So where are we after this weekend that was? With 2 buzzer beaters, because we didn't even bring up Derrick Rose because now we forget about that. That was insane Friday night, Timmy.
Because I don't think we're anywhere in this series. I don't think you can say the Cavaliers have a real advantage with the injuries they have. The guys are beat up. And you assume Pau Gasol is going to come back soon for the Bulls.
I'm on the same page. If you're getting Pau Gasol back, the Bulls have to remain confident they can win in Cleveland.
You know what? The Cavs were shaken, and who did they turn to? LeBron. Didn't have a great game. He missed 20 of 30 shots, but he made the most important shot.
Okay, now to the other game. Can we talk about the other game where Houston broke basketball? Kevin McHale says his goal was to muff up the game. Mission accomplished! His own player, James Harden, afterwards saying he doesn't like this. Nobody likes this. So is McHale's strategy killing the Rockets in this series, Tim?
You can't say that. I understand it's horrible to watch, but he went to it early yesterday because the guy who killed him yesterday, Dwight Howard, got his third foul early in the midway through the second quarter. A guy who came up with 7.6 rebounds and 6 fouls in his biggest game as a Rocket. Thank you, Dwight, for that performance. He went to this early. The Rockets scored 17 points to Jordan's 14 on these possessions. So you can say, well, it didn't really do much. Well, they're a minus 36 the rest of the game. They can't defend that team right now. They certainly can't defend the paint. If Howard's only going to play 18 minutes, I don't think McHale had a choice.
Does anybody else think Tim's personally insulted by Dwight Howard's play here? Israel.
They're right if they are.
On behalf of Dwight Howard, Tim, you're welcome. I'm going to give Kevin McHale a little bit of a pass here, too. This isn't really the team, because we heard during the season, even toward the end, Houston's playing better defense, right? This isn't really that team. When you've got Jason Terry out there trying, I emphasize trying, to guard J.J. Redick, and you just can't do it, you know your defense is not where it's supposed to be, so you go in and you come up with a different strategy. This isn't the group necessarily that earned that 2 seed. And, I'll give him a pass for that. But I do think it mucks up the game. I think it's obviously ugly. And I don't think anything has to be done about it, though. I think this is about as bad as it gets.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Frank, is this ruining the series for the Rockets?
Well, first of all, I'd like to see maybe J.A. can get Kobe Bryant to get us a comment on Dwight Howard and his play. Well, this is what I don't understand. It's kind of a gimmick. You finished second overall in the Western Conference. You smoked Dallas in the first round. I get it. You're down 2-1. You're playing on the road. But why are you trying to change the way that you play? And I think by committing all these fouls, you're getting guys in the game that never usually play. Play your style. I think they catered to the Clippers, who have been the best team in the playoffs thus far. And here you have Howard and Blake Griffin. One guy came to play, the other guy didn't.
And would you say there's no recovering from this for Houston, Frank?
Oh, I think they can come back, but they need to play their style. Get up and down the court. Forget the foul.
Dante, where are you on McHale's strategy here?
When you start this with 3 minutes and 40 seconds into the first quarter of the game, you're telling your team you're not good enough to compete with them straight up. And guess what? It came to fruition.
Yeah, I mean, Timmy, you were saying this started in the second quarter when Howard got fouled. It started before that. It started 3.5 minutes into the game.
It started before that. They went to it heavy in the middle of the second quarter.
Silver said
before they were even in the bonus. They fouled them out of bounds before they were even in the bonus.
The commissioner said during the Rockets-Mavs series this was something he was on the fence about, this hacker strategy, whether to legislate against it or not. There have been 1,839 free throws since he said that. I'm going to go ahead and say all of them were intentional because it just seems that way. Is he? You don't think this needs to be eliminated?
I don't necessarily, because, again, I think in terms of optics, this is as bad as it's gotten, and I feel like in terms of embarrassment, this is as bad as it's gotten, not only for Kevin McHale, for DeAndre Jordan, but for the other Rockets. I mean, James Harden out there saying he doesn't like that strategy. It clearly doesn't lend itself to strengthening their style of game, which is up and down. You saw occasionally they tried to take the ball out of bounds and still go fast, but that just seems contrived. It seems forced. It's not in the natural flow of basketball. I think there's no great strategy for it. Nobody, not even Popovich, has developed a good strategy for it, and there's no proof that it works. So I think people are just going to go away from it at this point.
Isola?
I think the number that's got to concern Adam Silver is 253. The game lasted 2 hours, 53 minutes. That is too much. That being said, it is just a certain number of games. You know what? Make your free throws. I don't think the league is going to do anything yet.
Adonde?
I'm hypersensitive because I happen to be in L.A. where we've had Shaq and now DeAndre Jordan and a year of Dwight Howard. But this needs to go. It's ridiculous. It's not basketball. We're elevating free throws to be the utmost part of the game when guess what? If they're supposed to be that important, maybe James Naismith might have included a free throw in the original 13 rules of the game. It should be about defending without fouling. That's the basic principle of the game. It's not a free throw contest. Don't foul guys who don't have the ball.
I didn't see somebody going James Naismith on us. Kalisha, where are you on the commissioner's stance here?
I think every sport at some point needs to be defended against overcoaching, and right now there's a lot of overcoaching going on in the NBA. It's not easily done because you can still kind of foul DeAndre Jordan and make it look like it's part of the game, but they need to try to get the ball.
Well, they weren't doing that last night. I mean, because that foul with Austin Rivers had the dunk. They waved it off because it was a foul. All right, so too much overcoaching in the NBA, even after the story we did to start today's show with Glad of the Southern. Israel, maybe you're in need of some fouling in Buy or Sell segment. We'll get to that after this break. Coming up, how the Warriors respond and how the Hawks defibrillate from the truth conquering all. Stick around.
I fouled Tim, by the way.
Geico presents Strange Saving Stories. Astronomers detected an interstellar transmission It stated, Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. The implications were staggering. Was the cosmos telling us we could all save hundreds on car insurance with Geico? Or did their radar merely pick up a signal from the nearby Rufus and Clyde's morning show? We may never know.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Buy or sell. It's buy or sell, and here it is, your moment of zen. Phil Jackson trolling three-point shooting teams. How's it goink in the playoffs? Nobody's more three-point than Golden State, of course. Tonight, they're in a position they haven't been all year, playing from behind. Last two games, 90 and 89 points. Two of their four lowest scoring outputs of the year. Jay, what do you think of Phil's tweet, and do you think that that's the Warriors' biggest problem right now?
Yeah, there's something to it. Watching them, you realize they don't have a guy they can just throw the ball to inside and go get a basket. They are dependent on outside shooting. One bad game can shift the series. And guess what? When you take outside shots, you're prone to having.
Would you call it a fatal flaw in this series?
Not necessarily, because they can get just as hot too. So they can turn around quickly. I mean, Klay Thompson can go out for 37 points in the quarter. They can turn around, but you are seeing them missing that element.
No, I don't make much of the tweet. First of all, the defending champion Spurs are great because they move the ball like nobody else and they create all these open three-pointers. That's what the Warriors need to get back to doing. That's normally what they do. The Grizzlies' defense has been very good. There's no question about that.
How should the Warriors feel going into tonight? As confident as they did going into Game 1?
Well, yeah. I mean, I still think they're going to win the series, and I think they win tonight, yes.
Israel?
I agree with Tim. Like Phil Jackson, if this was the Warriors he was talking about, as the premise is all wrong. They're just not playing the way they've been playing all season long. They're not getting the ball movement. And I know Memphis is being physical with them, and Marcus Sol had pointed that out. But the more you move, the more you pass the ball, the more opportunities there are for them to get fouled, to get fouled, and for the rest to call a foul, and obviously to get open shots. But they're not just a three-point shooting
There's a reason,
team.
though. You say they're not playing the way they've played all year long. There's a reason why. Because Memphis is playing them the way Memphis is playing.
Right, but they're not chucking up a bunch of threes and missing. Like Phil Jackson's making it seem like that's what they did all year long.
Fair point. Frank,
throw up
where
a
are
bunch
you
of threes. That's not true.
Yeah, I wish Steph Curry would have tweeted to Phil, how did that 17 and 65 season goink? Because that didn't go too well. They need Steph Curry to play at a high level. He's only averaging 21 points in the last two games, shooting about 35%. He might have an MVP hangover. He'll have a much better game tonight.
Do you think they solved their problem? The whole thing with the typo is in Phil. He just doesn't care. Just doesn't care
He's got
about
10
typos.
rings. You try typing with 11 rings on your fingers on an iPhone. Not
Oh,
easy.
man.
Ooh, look at Dante. I
not
put
in
you
New
once
York.
around for an LA guy. He's in New York now, Jay. We'll move on. Buy or sell, too. Hawks, Wizards. You can talk about how Atlanta recovers tonight if you want, but at least you got to start with Saturday's lunacy. Pierce hitting the shot and calling game. Kalisha dropped the mic. He should have picked up Chris's mic and dropped it on the floor. Kalisha, what was bigger, the shot or that quote?
Oh, it's the shot. I mean, I just don't think Wizards fans are ready for these kind of game-winning shots from Pierce, and he's happy to provide them. Usually he does it on the right side. This time he moves over to the left side, shoots over two guys. Perfect.
Israel, what did you see?
The shot was good. The quote was perfect. And they've already got T-shirts that's coming out that says, I call game, and so it's going to live with him forever. I love the quote. It was great.
Yeah, it was a brilliant shot because it erased the fact that the Wizards had blown a 21-point lead in this game. And to me, it all started with Jackie McMullen's story on Paul Pierce. It's like a rebirth that he's had in Washington. Good for him.
Dante.
Exactly, Frank. Even before the playoffs started, he was getting off great quotes. And he already filled his allotment of 2 great fourth quarters in these playoffs. I thought that's what he needs to justify the signing. He did that in the first round. This was a bonus. The words were bigger. Paul Pierce is winning these playoffs with these words.
Will the Wizards be winning these playoffs without John Wall? You know, he's questioned, but they don't know if he's going to play tonight. They haven't ruled him out. Let's just say that. But does Pierce's shot have carryover tonight, Kalisha?
Yeah, I mean, I think there is a little bit of momentum on the Wizards side right now.
Gutierrez?
No, I don't think so, and I think they're going to suffer big time, and I don't think John Wall has any reason to come back in this series. None.
Yeah, to me, the winner of tonight's game is going to win the series. I think it's going to be Atlanta.
Momentum comes from winning 2 games, not 1.
Buy or sell 3. Hockey. Rangers going to range and play a 1-goal game. Caps going to cap and not close out at home. And Ovechkin guaranteeing a win in Game 7 Wednesday in New York. A lot to talk about here, Israel. First, buy or sell Ovechkin with that guarantee.
Well, he didn't actually say the word guarantee, but he also didn't say maybe we're going to win. So but I buy it because it's meaningless. You lose a Game 7, so what? You probably don't even have to talk to the media afterward. You can just go home. Like, it's meaningless. I guarantee every Game 7 from here on.
It's not meaningless to him. He's never got to a conference final. If you go back to Kreider's game-tying goal in Game 5, they have outscored the Caps 6-4. So they have momentum. I love the fact that he's putting responsibility on himself to take the pressure off the rest of his teammates.
I'll buy his belief. I'll sell his chances of making it come true. You consider the Capitals are a franchise that's already blown 4 3-1 leads in the playoffs before, and the Rangers have never lost a Game 7 in the Garden.
Kalishaw.
I'll buy his right to say it, and the way he played and the way the Caps were buzzing around last night. I did think they were going to tie it. I think the extra day off will help them, but it's a Game 7 and it's Lundqvist, and I don't think they're going to win. I think the Rangers will win.
Tim Kalishaw. I think that look of disapproving
What
you
do you
just
think?
gave. Well, what are you thinking right now?
Isn't this the part of the show where Izzy tells me to leave? He comes up with some rules.
Get out of
where
here,
he gets
Tim.
to stay. And
Get out of here.
Dante Gutierrez, I stole the lightning round next. Coming up, Rickie Fowler. We major? Oh, yeah, he major. Hood! I stole the 28. Gutierrez, 22. Dante, 21. Lightning round. Biggest headline for Rickie Fowler from the weekend at the Players. Coming back from 5 down with 6 to go, mastering 17 3 times while doing it. The Hills at the Players. Or finally getting a big W among all that overrated talk by his fellow players, Jay.
I don't see how you can call him overrated when he finished in the top 5 of all the majors last year. It's great to see him close to seal the deal, you could say.
Gutierrez?
Yeah, no, we need to sort of redefine what we call overrated. I mean, it's mostly pretty much jealousy from everybody else because he's so marketable in a sport where, yeah, there's not too many marketable players. And at the end, he could probably say, oh, by the way, she's not overrated either.
Well, maybe the word... We're not going to get into that, but maybe the word overrated isn't the right word. It's the word the players use, but it's a guy who's always coming close but not winning. Frank, you think this does something to change the trajectory of his career?
I think it absolutely does, and it's great. You have Jordan Spieth and also Rory McIlroy. Good time for golf. But is it me? The golfer's getting younger, and the girlfriends seem to be getting taller. That's what I took away from the weekend.
That's it.
Lightning 2. What does the Dante Fowler torn ACL injury, this is just terrible to look at because he's working so hard, tell you, if anything, about rookie minicamps, Israel?
It doesn't tell me much. I mean, look, this could happen at any given time. If you want to make the argument that these guys are out there too early or they have too many workouts, you can make it about any year, about anybody at any given year if they get hurt before the season. So
it's just the sport of football. It's amazing how many injuries. Forget the games during the regular season. How many gruesome injuries happen just in practice and happen this early. I feel really badly for Dante.
Right. If it's such a high-risk sport, why have so many opportunities, so much exposure to injury? Do you need all these mini camps, OTAs, voluntary workouts that people get fined for or get criticized for if they don't show up for the voluntary workouts? Too much football.
That was our first ever Fowler lightning round. I'm not sure if any of you guys caught on.
Hey,
picked up on
history.
That. Dante, 24. Next to go. What's the last word?
I'm not so fond of these Fowler lightning rounds, if they mean I get down.
Gutierrez and Isola for showdown. Straight ahead. Baby! There's an adult attached to you! The catch in front of mom. Next. Baby Bjorn!
ESPN Radio.
With the action on the court, the diamond, or the gridiron.
Comes alive.
The NBA.
The San Antonio Spurs are the world champions.
Major League Baseball.
San Francisco Giants are the champions of the baseball world.
The new college football playoff.
College football playoff national champion, the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Your home for the best in sports play-by-play.
ESPN Radio.
It's showdown. We're in it with Gutierrez and Isola, and showdown 1. Empty dugouts or chocolate sauce? What home run celebration from the weekend caught your eye, Israel?
The empty dugout was interesting. I'll say this about the chocolate sauce. It just doesn't look good. It looks disgusting. And on top of that, not everybody loves chocolate.
it also feels a lot worse. It has to be the dugout because the players usually, a guy hits his first home run, they don't shake his hand. They took it a step further, got out of the dugout. Good, innocent fun.
For Chris Bryant, that was pretty. I don't know, though. If you ask me shaving cream or chocolate, I think I'm going to pick chocolate.
Which one's easier to get out of your eyes?
You never eat chocolate. Are you kidding?
Point to each. We'll move on. Showdown 2. Foul ball catch with tiny human strapped to your body while mom is watching on Mother's Day. How much credit to the dad? How much credit to the mom? How much credit to the baby, Frank?
Hey, at least someone in a Phillies uniform can actually catch a ball. He had the baby protected the entire time. One thing, Tony, also, the baby, breathtaking.
All the credit goes to the dad. I mean, think about this Mother's Day. Was this Mother's Day? Was this Sunday? Yes. How about all this? You get your mom, you get the mom going out on a holiday, get her on TV. You know, I'll take care of the baby. It's on me, and I get to this foul ball. I mean, come on now. Like, you can't do much better.
Everybody wants to see the baby.
Everybody, 2 Seinfeld references from Isola. That's how we're going to split the tie here. Take the face, Frankie.
Well, everyone knows the story about Bartolo Colon. He's played for a million different teams. He can't win a race to first base. You know that he's never going to win a competition at Muscle Beach. But this is what he's done. He's the first one to 6 wins in Major League Baseball, and he's the second oldest player in the league at 41 years old. More importantly, he did it a year after his mom died after a battle with breast cancer. So Bartolo Colon, laugh all you want at him. He's been terrific, and so have the Mets. Good for you, Bartolo Colon.
Leads the league in wins. Has that 40-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Leads the league in helmets falling off the bat. Who did you say he looked like before we went into this segment? Who
He looks a little like the San Diego Padres mascot, just a little bit, or a lot. A little
many nice things. And then
that's going to do it, folks. Thanks for coming around. 23.5-hour break.
He looks like him too.
Two of baseball's best go head-to-head in interleague action when the Tigers head to St. Louis to face the Cardinals. That one is gone. The pregame at 7 Eastern, first pitch at 8, Sunday on ESPN and ESPN Radio.